In 100 years, when your grandkids search up the best playoff games of all time on Google or using Elon Musk's brain chips, however it's going to be working in 100 years, I don't exactly know. However they get that information, they're going to find Portland Trailblazers, Denver Nuggets, Game 5, Series 1 in Denver, Nikola Jokic, Damian Lillard, 147, 140, double overtime. Damian Lillard goes off for 50, do I believe? Was it 50? Let me just clarify. 55. Don't let me sell him short. 55 points, 10 assists, 1 turnover. Let me just repeat that one more time. 55 points, 10 assists, 1 turnover. He missed 7 shots. He missed 7 shots. What are we talking about right now? I think Kevin Durant summed it up best when he said this. I had like 4 tweets I wanted to write to describe this masterpiece by Damian Lamonte Ollie Lillard Sr., but I am seriously at a loss for words. And then he went on to say, God mode, this is a spiritual experience. We are with you, Kevin. We are with you, because what we just saw by Damian Lillard was one of the craziest things you'll ever see in NBA history, regardless of playoffs, regardless of setting. That just adds to it. That just makes it crazier. But what we just saw was how many back-to-back threes? I'm not even going to look through it. Back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back threes. I think at one point he had scored 17 points in a row for Portland. I think that's correct. He had scored 17 points in a row for the Trailblazers. They were down by 9 points, was it? And he hit back-to-back-to-back threes, including threes from about 30 feet. And the last one to tie it up in overtime was one where he turned around, hit it, and it went in. I don't know what I'm saying. Because we don't know what we just witnessed. He hit a bank shot. I mean, the game kind of petered out towards the end. I think for some reason Dame only took 1 shot in double overtime. I think he was just tired. Just looked like he was fatigued. He didn't have anything left in him. He'd been hoisting bombs. He's taking 35-foot threes, coming off screens, moving all around the floor for 50 minutes. I think by the end, he just didn't have the energy. And he thought to himself, maybe CJ McCollum can hit a shot. Maybe Norman Powell can hit a shot. I'll read to you the guys that were on the floor at the end that weren't Damian Lillard. CJ McCollum, 7 of 22. Yusuf Nurkic, he got fouled out, 5 of 12. Norman Powell, 5 of 14. Robert Covington, 5 of 10. Okay, that's all right. He also missed 2 dunks. Carmelo Anthony, 3 of 11, missed about 3 wide open threes in overtime or towards the end of the game. He missed all of those shots. So combined, they all shot for about 30% from the field, whereas Dame shot like 70% and hit 55 points, 10 assists, 1 turnover. That kind of sums it up. It was literally a one-man effort. When they say one man's carrying the team, sometimes that's exaggerated. No, it's not. And it wasn't one-sided because the Nuggets won, and a big reason for that was because Jokic dropped 38 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. He also made some ridiculous plays in overtime and towards the end of the game. It wasn't on Dame's level because we've never seen a shooting display in overtime and towards the end of the game like we just saw from Damian Lillard. That's something that might never happen again. But what Jokic did was when he was getting single team, buckets. When he was getting double team, passing it to open shooters. I think he found 3 open shooters in a row. And then his final pass to Michael Porter Jr., if you saw it, you saw it. Double team comes over. There's someone like at the cutting spot, but that's being guarded. He passes over Robert Covington, I believe. I don't exactly know how it was mapped out. It was just one of the best passes you'll ever see. Considering the setting as well, it was 140 apiece at the time. Jokic gets a double with about 5 seconds left on the clock. I thought maybe he was going to hoist something up because I'm watching the game from my perspective on TV, and I didn't even see the pass at the time. Jokic somehow, who's facing that way at the time, finds Michael Porter Jr. in the corner, just over the top of someone's hand. Michael Porter Jr. hits that shot, and that in the end was the reason they won the game, because they took that, and then the Blazers missed. They stepped out of bounds. They got a couple of free throws. That was the pass that won them the game, and that was one of the craziest passes we've ever seen. That was unbelievable. That game in general, what else do we have to say? What is there to say? That's just one of the craziest games we'll ever see. Damian Lillard put on a performance. Everyone is saying free Dame. I mean, yeah, free Dame. I know he's loyal, but when CJ is selling, stepping out of bounds, when Robert Covington's missing back-to-back dunks, Melo's missing 3 in a row, open threes. Melo had a wide open mid-range shot, but because he had been so bad beforehand, he passed it to CJ, who then stepped out of bounds. It was literally comedy if it wasn't in that setting at the time. I'm pretty sure everyone in the world was mad because you just wanted to see this game extend and you wanted to see them at least give Dame some respite while he was clearly tired and hoping someone could at least make a shot. But then Melo passes up an open mid-range shot, passes it to CJ, who steps out of bounds. This was like the possession after Dame found Robert Covington for a wide open dunk and he hit the back of the rim. Does that sum it up? I guess it does. Again, this is a game that was 20 points the difference in like the first quarter. The Nuggets got out to a lead. They were up by 13 at quarter time. They were up by about 22 halfway into the second quarter. Dame went on to just make some crazy shots. They found some rhythm, and all of a sudden at halftime, they were pretty much tied when it looked like the Nuggets were going to win this game convincingly. I think most people are looking forward to Game 6 halfway through the second quarter because the game before, Portland blew out the Nuggets and we're like, Nuggets are just returning the favor. No, because this game not just went to 1 overtime, but 2 overtimes. And yeah, again, is there anything else I can say about this game? Absolutely absurd. This is when you have two heavyweights going back and forth. Yusuf Nurkic fouled out, so it was Enes Kanter, and that was a big dagger for the Blazers. I think, in my opinion, Nurkic is the Blazers' second most important player. Everything he does, the way he was actually defending Jokic pretty well this game, and has done so pretty well in this series. It's been when Kanter and small ball guys have switched onto Jokic where it's just been a wrap. You cannot put Enes Kanter on Jokic and expect anything less than a disaster from Portland's perspective. It's that simple. You can't do that. It's like putting someone who plays third division football up against Cristiano Ronaldo and expecting him not to score a hat-trick. I don't know why I needed to put it into football terms, because in basketball terms, it's like putting one of the worst defenders in the league, probably the worst defender in the league, on the MVP and one of the most unstoppable centers we've ever seen in NBA history. That's basketball terms. Football terms, I guess it's like putting someone who plays your local football against Cristiano Ronaldo. That's kind of what it is. So that was Enes Kanter versus Jokic, and as we expected, Jokic dominated in the fourth quarter and overtime, which gets overshadowed a bit, and I think it deserves to get overshadowed. I've raved about Jokic on this channel ever since I created this channel because he's just that good, and he played just that well again, but we might never see a performance like that from Dame. We might never see a performance that great again. So if it's getting overshadowed, that's fine. We can accept it. In the end, the Nuggets won, so it won't get overshadowed too much. But Damian Lillard, what are we talking about right now? I mean, the Lakers game was on, and that was just no. Like, I feel like that game just didn't exist. We were in an alternate reality where everyone watching this game was just, like, kind of in a different space. I feel like every one of us that watched this game, we were in a different time zone, a different period of time. Like, nothing else existed in life apart from that game. And Damian Lillard was the man who was center, front, center, whatever I'm saying. I don't know. I'm not making no sense right now. But that's kind of my thoughts on arguably one of the best games of all time. Like I said, 100 years, Elon Musk's brain chip. Your grandkids are going to search it up. What's the best game of all time? What's the best playoff game of all time? That's going to be in the mix. That's going to be in the mix, and Damian Lillard's performance is also going to be in the mix. Probably the best clutch shooting performance ever. Let me just clarify that. Probably the best clutch shooting performance, at least from 3, because the bombs he was putting up, like I said, he hit like 6 consecutive threes that if you had seen one of those, you would have been like, that's crazy. Then you see 6 of them when all of them counted, like, that's crazy. That's the most ridiculous thing we might ever see. So that's kind of my thoughts on the game. Is there anything else to say? Oh, Mike Malone, you want to foul the guy? I mean, he's hit 6 threes. He was 12 of 17. You want to foul the guy instead of just letting him walk into threes? I don't care if he's taking them from half court. Fouling him's a better option. I know he's very clever, and he can get you up in the air in the matter of a second. He can take that up in the air and make it seem like a shooting foul in the matter of a second, so it is risky. So I will give him that. People saying, oh, they should have just fouled him immediately. Dame's going to make that look as close to a shooting foul as possible, and him going to the line for 3 free throws is 3 points. So I guess I can see from that perspective, but still, maybe just foul him if he's doing that. Maybe just foul him in the regular time, because instead of letting him take threes, I don't even know what you do to that guy. I guess there's no real answers. In that time, like us, I think Malone was just kind of watching it. Every Nuggets player was watching it and going like, what are we witnessing? So I think they're all as shocked as us. Sometimes we have to remember that although those are the guys getting paid to do their job, when you see that and you're on the other side of things, you would be in a little bit of shock as well. You would be a little bit like, what do I do right now? Because I'm defending him and I'm getting a hand up in his face from 30 feet off a step back, off a turnaround 3, and he's making it. Is there anything else we can do? No. I guess we'll let CJ Carmelo and Norman Powell just brick them out of the game towards the end, which was an unfortunate ending. I mean, we all wish Dame could have taken the last 10 shots, but I think fatigue got the best of him. That's the only thing I can say. I think fatigue got the best of him because he just looked like he wasn't hunting the ball towards the end. I think he'd had enough. He'd been sprinting around for the entire game, and by the end he was like, someone else do it. No one else did it. And we're going to game 6 where if Dame can put up any kind of performance that resembles this, then I don't know, bow down to him because like Kevin Durant said, God mode. Anyways, my camera's dead. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Have a good day. Damian Lillard, wow.